Hey guys, what's up? Zach here, or ZeTutorials, and today we are moving on to part 4 of our website tutorial series. Last time, this is what we created here. We have our space for our header where you can throw in your own logo there, whatever you want, and I showed you how to do this rollover navigation the correct way, not like some other tutorials, but we won't go into that. So today we're going to move on how to create this 2-column website. On the left you'll have your content, and on the right you'll have just maybe links or advertisements, things like that. Oh, and I might as well say while I'm here, everyone asks me who I host my websites with. I'm hosted with these guys. I will have a link in the description if you want to check them out. Quick note about them, if you want to know why I choose them, it's because they have the quickest servers. Load time of websites is extremely quick and quicker than any other site I know. So yeah, moving on to Dreamweaver, let's pop in here. Now you can use any text editor, you can use Notepad++ or something if you don't have Dreamweaver. So this is what we created last time. We have our nav here, and that's all it was, and then the rest, which made it look all pretty and such, was CSS. So we created this CSS code here where we have a couple tags, our nav, our center nav, and the A tag and stuff like that. So go back in the tutorials if you want to see that. So today we're going to do our 2-column website. Now first off, we need to have a wrapper to hold everything. So we're going to create a div tag and give it an ID of wrapper. And you'll pretty much have this in every website. This is going to center the main content. And inside our wrapper is where we're going to have the left content and the right content. So let's create the left side first. We're just going to create section ID. So we're giving it the section, which is a new HTML5 tag. It basically replaces div and gives you section instead. It's just the correct way to do it. You can use div for wrapper though. So use section ID, and we're going to call it content. And we're just going to close off that. Give it a few returns for a bit of space. And then we are going to create under that our section for the right side. So section ID again, and we're going to call this right side, just something simple so we can remember. And again, we'll give ourselves some space to work it. So this is what we created. We have our div ID, a div, we gave it an ID of wrapper. Inside our wrapper div, we created a section, gave it an ID of content, closed off that, did another section tag, and gave it an ID of the right side. So that is our basic layout, and now the rest is going to be CSS. Now you will notice that a lot of this stuff is CSS. So let's start off with doing the wrapper, hop into styles here. Now before we start, I'm just going to comment off here saying that we are in the wrapper, just for our own, so when you're going back over styles, you'll know exactly where you are. I always do this. So since it's an ID, use the pound or hashtag plus the name of whatever you called it in your ID. Now if you use if you went div class, you would use a period, a full stop. But since we used ID, we're going to use a hashtag. And there are differences. I might go over the differences between the two of them in another video, but not today. So we're just going to give it a width of 900 pixels because that is the width of our nav. So we're going to have it the same width the whole way down, just so we can see what we're doing, of maybe 600 pixels. And if I looked at this in the browser, you actually wouldn't see anything because there is no color on it. So I'm just going to give it a quick background color just so you guys can see exactly what I am doing, and I'm going to give it a light grey so you can see it on the browser, otherwise you wouldn't be able to see it. So we're going to reload this, and as you can see, this is what we have. This grey, not centered, but it's 900 pixels wide. So next thing to do is to center it. So this is really easy. If you watch my other tutorials, you would know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to give it a margin left of auto and a margin right of auto. Basically, this is the code that you're going to use anytime you want to center something. It really is the simplest. Now there are other ways, but this is by far the easiest and simplest to remember. So we're going to open that up in the browser again, take a look, and as you can see, I've messed something up. That should be right. So margin left, margin right, not margin left, margin left, which makes no sense. So as you can see, it is centered now. So that is our wrapper. Now we need to section off our left content and our right side. So let's do that straight away. pop on into your source code so you know exactly what your name stuff. So I named this section content and I gave it an ID, which means I'm going to use the pound symbol. So content, open and close our curly brackets, go back up to the top, give ourselves a bit of room, and we're going to give this a width of, let's do 600 pixels because we want it to be wider than the right side because this is where our content goes. We're going to give it a height of 100% just because we want to see it. So technically a height of 100%, it's going to inherit the height of the owning div, so the wrapper. Since this is inside, since the content is inside the wrapper, it is going to have a height of 100%, which means it's going to have the wrapper's height of 600 pixels. I hope you're following all this, but if you don't worry about it, just watch a couple of tutorials of mine, you'll be fine. We are going to float this guy to the left because our content is on the left, and that's going to make sure that everything stays on the left side and doesn't go into the center or something silly like that. And we're going to give it a different background color just again so you can see what we're doing. Let's give this a darker gray, just so I probably should color it a bit better, but oh, you can see that, it's okay. So now we have our content. So there we have our content, and it looks like we have the right div, but that's actually just the wrapper overflowing. So now we need to do our right side. So since we gave the content height a width of 600 pixels, there's 300 pixels left. So let's go into our source code, copy the name of our ID and paste it, open and close our curly brackets once again. We're going to give this a width of, now since there's 300 pixels left, I don't want them touching each other, so I'm going to go 280 pixels. And I'm going to give a height of 100% again. Now why I did 280 pixels is so I'll have 20 pixels left over, so that in between there is like a divide, and you'll see that now in a second. Again, a width of 100%, and we're going to float this guy to the left, or to the right, sorry, left, to the right. And oh yeah, we'll give this a background color. So let's pick a random color here, boom, okay. Whatever that was, I think that's a blue. We'll see. Let's reload. Oh, and there we go. So now we have a left side and a right side, and this divide in the middle here is our wrapper. So think of it as there's a 20 pixel divide here. Your content is floated to the left, it is 600 pixels wide. Your right side is floated to the right, obviously enough, and it's 280 pixels wide. So now let's clean up this a bit better. If I look onto the finished website, there's a border down the left and right side here, so let's just create that quickly. Now I'm not going to go over everything just because it's really just fiddling around with stuff yourselves, and I don't want to go into too much detail. So let's give this a border left, and we're going to give it 1 pixel in width. We're going to have it a solid color, not a broken up line, and we're going to have it black. And close that, and then we're going to do the exact same thing but for the right. So border right, again 1 pixel, solid and black. And let's reload the page and take a look at how that is. So as you can see it better on the left side because this is blue, but you have your border here on the left and your border here on the right. Now there are a few more things that I did here. As you can see, there's a box shadow here. If you want to know how to do that, just leave me know in the comments. Technically it's 1 line of code, but if you want to work in most browsers it's 3 lines of code, but it's very, very simple. And yeah, just mess around with this yourselves, guys. I'm not going to go through how to do all this. I might go through the left content, how I divided this up, just so you guys will know how I did that. But other than that, that is how you make a simple 2-column website, very quick and very easy. This has been part 4 of our tutorial series. Part 5 will come along soon. I will either be showing you how to create these divides here where we have, number 1 and number 2, or I will move straight onto the footer here. So that's it. Thank you all so much for watching. This is Zach, or ZeTutorials, and I'm signing out. See you in the next one.